Last week, I introduced the Great Lock-In, not a challenge nor a temporary transformation, but a lifestyle. Today, we're talking about the first pillar, which is yourself. Because before you can build a business or choose healthy relationships, you have to become someone worth following, and that person should be you. One of my favorite quotes is this: you should become your number one fan, and everyone should be in competition to becoming your number one fan. And they should never win. That isn't arrogance, that's responsibility. Because if you don't believe in yourself first, eventually you'll spend your life chasing validation from people who were never meant to give it. See, self love is a relationship. I think we misunderstood self love though. We treat it like it's a spa day, whether it's bubble baths or buying ourselves flowers. Those things are beautiful, don't get me wrong. But that's self care. Self love is the relationship we have with ourselves. Ask yourself, if you treated someone else the way that you treat yourself, would they feel loved? Would they feel encouraged? Would they feel protected? Would they feel heard? Would they feel safe? Because your relationship with yourself sets the standards for every relationship in your life. When I say become self obsessed, I'm not talking about becoming self centered in a way that ignores other people. I'm talking about becoming self centered in the literal sense, making yourself your center, not social media, not other people's opinions, not your situation, not your past. You become the center because whatever your center is, everything else revolves around it. Let's talk about 4 daily lock in routines. I don't want this video to just inspire you. I want to give you a system. Here's how I become practicing my own biggest supporter. Number one, own your morning before the world does. The first hour of your morning shouldn't belong to notifications. It should belong to you. Before you consume, create. Before you react to things, reflect. Before the world tells you what you need to be, remember who you are. That could look like prayers before touching your phone, 5 minutes of deep breathing, reading a chapter of a book, stretching or Pilates, going for a walk while listening to affirmations, making your bed, drinking water before caffeine, sitting in silence for 10 minutes. The activities matter less than the intention. The reason why these are important is because you're telling your nervous system, I belong to me before I belong to the world. And here's why this matters: because the way you start your morning eventually becomes the way you run your business. Number two, check back into yourself throughout the day. Most people check Instagram more than they check themselves. So here's a habit I want you to create. 3 times a day, ask yourself 4 questions. What am I feeling? What do I need? Where's my attention? Is what I'm focusing on helping me become who I said I wanted to be? Sometimes you realize you're worrying about someone else's opinion. Sometimes you realize you've been doom scrolling for an hour. Sometimes you also realize you've abandoned yourself trying to save everyone else. The goal isn't guilt. The goal is awareness. Awareness allows redirection. Now let's talk about resetting. If you notice you've drifted, reset. Take 5 deep breaths. Step outside, walk for 5 minutes, listen to one of those empowering podcasts instead of gossip, drink water, pray, read 1 page in a book, put your phone face down. Your attention is your currency. Spend it intentionally. The people who master this with themselves eventually master it in business because entrepreneurs don't just manage money, they manage attention. Number three, become someone you enjoy spending time with. One of the greatest forms of self love is enjoying your own company. Take yourself somewhere beautiful. Cook yourself a meal that makes you feel nourished. Learn something new. Take yourself to a museum. Go to a bookstore. Watch a sunset. Practice a hobby. Dance. Create. Learn a language. Lift weights. Practice Pilates. Not because someone is watching, but because you're becoming someone whose presence you enjoy. And isn't that what building a business really is? Creating something you're proud to spend your life with. Number four, end the day by pouring back into yourself. The evening isn't just where you recover, it's where you prepare. Instead of ending every night consuming everyone else's life, return to your own. Here are some ideas: gentle yoga, prayer, meditation, reading 10 pages, a gratitude voice memo instead of writing, stretching, listening to worship music, listening to calm instrumentals, taking a slow shower without your phone, looking at tomorrow's priorities, sitting on your balcony, watching the stars, making tea, speaking affirmations out loud, asking yourself, did I make myself proud today? Not perfect, but proud. Some nights the answer will be no, and that's okay. You're not building perfection, you're building consistency. Self-love isn't liking yourself every day. Self-love is showing up for yourself every day, especially on the days that you don't feel like it. You have to rewire your brain. Science tells us your brain changes based on repetition. Your identity isn't created by what you occasionally do. It's created by what you repeatedly practice. Every time you keep your promise to yourself, you build trust. Every time you speak life over yourself, you strengthen new pathways. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you reinforce a new identity. The great lock in isn't just about changing your habits, it's changing the person your brain believes you are. I want to leave you with this. Imagine waking up every day knowing you are your own safest place, your own biggest encourager, your own loudest supporter. Imagine not needing permission from anyone, not needing an applause, not needing constant reassurance because you've already decided you're worth investing in. Remember, you should be your number one fan, and everyone else should be in competition to becoming your number one fan, and they should never win. In our next video, we're taking everything we learned today and applying it to business. Because once you know how to invest in yourself, the next question becomes, how do you build something worthy of that investment? We'll talk about locking into your purpose, your craft, and your calling. Until then, the door is closed, stay locked in. But you're not going anywhere just yet. Today's lock-in challenge is this. Before you go to bed tonight, ask yourself these 4 questions. Did I choose myself today? Where did I give away my attention? What made me feel alive? What is one promise I can keep to myself tomorrow? The great lock-in isn't built in one day, and it's definitely not built in 30 days. It's built with one promise to keep yourself at a time. Remember, darlings, in order to live a high-quality lifestyle, you have to embody high-quality essence. Smooches!